Team USA is going insane. Chen Po-jen makes a mockery out of a 195 kilo snatch and threatens Akbar Jurayev. And Iran's beast Alireza Yousefi is back. Plus the new Olympic qualification system explained. That and more in this week's episode of the Weightlifting House News Show. Also, just very quickly, because a lot of you have been asking, the Weightlifting House Rahmat Unchained collab is going to be dropping next week. I think that's going to be on the 19th. Early access, VIP, all of that stuff, as usual, the day before. It's a limited quantity. When it sells out, it sells out. That's it. We don't normally do that sort of thing anymore, but we're doing it. So when it's gone, it's gone. A lot of you want it, so just be ready. If you're not on the early access list, don't complain if you don't get it. Onto the lifts. Okay, I got to start off with the king of the clean and jerk, the man whose pre-lifting vibe is just so perfect. We talked about him doing 230 kilos, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. He just did 240 kilos. Alireza Yousefi, who clean and jerked 262 kilos at the World Championships in Bahrain a year and a half ago. No, that's not right. A year and 3 months ago. He just did 240 kilos and it looks amazing. It's just so it's so powerful, and the elasticity in the bar and the pop at the top, as Max 80 used to say on the commentary, is so extreme. And then the way he stands it up and he's stepping forward and his feet almost sliding out, and then he's almost not even stood it up before he's already restarted the oscillation. It's just so good. I can't wait to see him back at the Asian Championships. Very happy with him. Now, let's actually stick with Team Iran before we go over to the craziness, the absurdity that is Team USA right now, because we saw some other big lifts. Another Alireza Naziri, who's the 110 junior. He came second at the World Championships. He beat Ruslan, Uncle Russ. He set a junior world record in the clean and jerk with 231, if you remember. He just did a 185 kilo snatch in training, which is a kilo more than he made at that World Championships. We also have Amir Sepah, who's an Iranian 94. He clean and jerked 210. I mean, 210 at 94, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we have Ali Alipur, who snatched 170 kilos. He's also a 94. So again, good big things coming out of Team Iran. Let's go next with Chen Po-jen. I'm doing like little recap videos of the biggest bits of news on my own personal Instagram at Seb_Ostrovich. I'll link it down below. And I did one of him, Chen Po-jen, hitting this 195 snatch, and it took off. So it's clearly big news. People really liked it. I was shocked. We shouldn't be too surprised in many ways. It was kind of like all signs are pointing in this direction. You know, he did a double at 180, then he started doing singles at 190. But Chen Po-jen, I feel, has underperformed to some degree, if I may say so, at most competitions over the last few years. He was a 96, then he was a 102, and then he went up to 110, and it felt like the wrong decision. But then he made a 230 in training, which is crazy in the clean and jerk. And he just competed, and he did this 195. I think he went 85, 90, 95. Bear in mind, I mean, the only other person we've seen put greens on the bar in competition and make it is the Olympic champion, Akbar Jurayev. I should say 2021 Olympic champion. But the world champion, Akbar Jurayev, who made 196 for a new world record at the World Championships. And then Chen Po-jen comes along and makes 195. I mean, he's making guys like Garrett Karapetyan, Simon Martirosyan, Ruslan Nuruddinov. He's making them look a little bit tame right now, to be honest, based on that 195. Absolutely incredible. In the clean and jerk, I think it was 215 that he made, so a little bit down. He was like pressing out with some heavier weights. You know, it wasn't quite there, but that's pretty mad. Now let's stick at 110, because we've had a few big 110 lifts, and it's time to talk about the absurdity of Team USA. Kolbi Ferguson hit 232 kilos in the clean and jerk at a competition. I think it was a competition run by Matty Rogers where profits went to Cats Without Homes, which is a really nice cause. And Kolbi came in 176 snatch, 232 clean and jerk. Now, as a total, that would have... I should know this stuff. I spoke about this on the... You all saw the video of Kolbi Ferguson clean and jerking 232 kilos in competition, and I've got another angle of that you just sent me. But what you might not know is that he also snatched 176 kilos
That total together would have been 4th at Worlds. The clean and jerk would have equaled Akbar's gold medal winning clean and jerk at Worlds.
Okay, so it would have been 4th at Worlds, according to me. And it would have equaled Akbar's clean and jerk at Worlds. And he was weighing around 116 kilos when he did it. I should really recheck back in with things I've done. Check in with myself before I talk publicly about this stuff. He's also training now with Tim Swords, who's like a bit of a coaching legend from the USA. He was coach of Sarah Robles and a bunch of other really great lifters. So Kolbi is actually texted me yesterday. He's in the process of moving this week out there to Texas, and at the weekend he's going to be doing a 1 rep max front squat. He said he wants between 275 and 300, which is ridiculous. I mean, I totally believe he can do like those sorts of weights, but and then Tim messaged me and said he's not going to let Kolbi push too much. Like, he's got to have perfect technique. As soon as it breaks down, he's going to shut him down, because what's the point? I told him he was being boring, but you know, he's a coach, so fair enough. Let's stick now with Team USA, because at that competition we saw Olivia No Sleeves Reeves, Olympic champion, 2-time world champion, world record holder. She went 122, 156. So 122, that is a kilo under her own world record and personal best. She did 123 in Førde, Norway. And then 156 is an unofficial world record at that body weight. The total equals her world record from Worlds. It's just incredible lifting. She even said in the post, I think, maybe I should have gone 160 if I'd had a 4th attempt. And she probably would have made it. From my intel that I've received, she's going to be cutting down to the 69 kilo class for the Pan American Championships in May. And then she'll move back up to the 76 class, sort of indefinitely throughout the rest of the Olympic quad. And then one more athlete from Team USA, though not at this competition, Sophie Shaft, 63 kilo weightlifter. She's just absolutely incredible. She did a 133 kilo clean and squat jerk. And I think she was wearing the Trailblazer tee from the 90s V2, which is cool to see. 133 clean squat jerk, 130 clean and power jerk, and then a 105 snatch. And I think she snatched 107 the week before. So she's just been on a tear. She's looking incredible. Her lifting is just so strong. And she's putting in a real bid for like that top-ranked US 63, because the battle between her and Katie Estep is exciting. Did she beat who won at Worlds? Sophie did win at Worlds by 4 kilos, but it looks like, I mean, she's getting so strong, and she's lifting way better than she did at that competition. So exciting stuff. Let's move over now to an exciting battle in the super heavies on the women's side. So Park Hye-jeong, she's the 2-time world champion now, 2023, 2025, a savage from South Korea. She just hit 123 in the snatch, 165 in the clean and jerk. That is big. And then a 170 clean misser jerk. So first of all, that's huge. That's a 288 total. And it's not even her best. You know, we've seen her snatch 130 before. Did she do 131? Did she do 131 in 2023 Worlds? Or was it 130? We're going to have to check. She attempted 131, but she didn't make it. She has made it, though. She's made 130. Hold on. She made 131 in Paris. It's like I almost have great knowledge, but I just hold myself back. So then there's her, and she did these massive lifts. And then there's Ouissal Ikhlef, who some of you will remember from a few months ago at the Islamic Games. We started speaking about her. She's amazing. She competes now for Qatar. And she just did a 200 kilo front squat and a 120 kilo snatch. And recently at a sort of Arabic competition, I don't know what it was, she clean and jerked 161. And it looks amazing. And so 120 looking like nothing. She's still improving. She's got 125 in her. She's maybe going to push up towards 165. I feel more confident about the snatch. I mean, I really think that she's probably looking like she's going to pan out to be like a world medalist in 2026 in Ningbo. I think that's very plausible. You know, you've got Ecuador, you've got USA, you've got Team GB. I mean, even Kazakhstan, Thailand in the supers. It's really shaping up to be an incredible category. But Ouissal Ikhlef, if that's how you pronounce her name. Ouissal Ikhlef, I think. She's just incredible. So excited to see her battling things out with Park Hye-jeong rather than Park Hye-jeong just running away with everything that doesn't involve a Team Chinese athlete. Okay, let's actually just stick very quickly on the women's super side. We've got Aurelia Rebekka, who's a Danish athlete, and she just hit, I think it was 140 kilos for a jerk behind the neck. Now, I don't know her best, but I reckon it's in the low 130s in the clean and jerk. I seem to remember her hitting kind of like that 132-ish range in competition. So 140 behind the neck, amazing stuff from Aurelia. Aurelia? I don't know. Then we have our boy, Marin Robu, Moldova, 88 kilo Moldovan. He's done a few big things. The first off, he hit a 280 kilo back squat in the classic training pants, which are honestly just unbelievable training pants. If you don't have them, I highly recommend them. I don't know if anyone's bought them and the bar's torn through. So that's for starters. And they just look sick. So I'd highly recommend those. And then he competed at a Bundesliga competition. He weighed 88.2. So he's not even like ready to cut to 88 for Europeans. He's actually probably a little bit underweight right now. He did 175, 205. I mean, that is really good. Like 175 snatch, 205. He's got the reds and the yellows. That's elite. That's a 380 total. That, by the way, would have been silver at the World Championships. He actually ended up taking bronze. He didn't lift as well as he should have. I think he totaled, 369 is what he totaled. But 380, I mean, that would have beaten Ro Kwang-rol from North Korea. It would have been second in behind Jason Lopez. But then obviously we're going to bring in, at the next World Champs, they're going to be 85s. We're going to bring in Abdo, Rahmat. We're going to bring in Tuyi from China, probably. I mean, I don't know if Robu's going to be holding on, but that's really great from him. Then we've got another female non-super squatting 200 kilos or more. It's happening every week now. This time it was Janette Ylisoini from Finland. I've mentioned her before as being a junior powerlifting something. World record holder, national record holder, I don't know. She was clearly very good. Weighing about 76 kilos, she just squatted 206.5 kilos. Look, it's no 227, but I only say that because of Olivia. That's like the standard. But I mean, that is so strong. For all of you out there who've done that, I've never squatted that much. I can't even imagine. I mean, it's so impressive. So yeah, insane lifting from her. She's super talented. Next up from Armenia, we have Anna Amroyan. She's a 77 kilo weightlifter. Normally sort of like scraping into the medal territory at European Championships. She just snatched 107 kilos, which is big for her. Very strong at 76. I don't think she's ever had a mention in the news show before. So shout out to her for that lift. Then from Ukraine, we have 58 kilo Olha Ivzenko. She did an 85 kilo pull, snatch, overhead squat. I think her best international snatch is 93. So she's working with over 90% for a 4-rep complex. Very impressive lifting from her. Then the lift that fooled everybody. Rakuei Auma from Japan. He's a 79, moving up to at some point compete in the 85s when that becomes a thing in a year's time. Everybody thought he did a 210 clean and jerk, and I believed it too. I wanted it to be true. It looked like a red, blue, blue, green, 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 but it was a red, blue, green, 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 green. It was 190, but for a moment, hopefully you will enjoyed watching what you thought was a 79 clean and jerk and 210. So sorry about that. Then we have Eileen Cikamatana, 86 kilo Australian weightlifter. She did a 140 clean front squat, jerk. And the clean was I hate the term squat clean. It was a clean. It wasn't a power clean like she often does, is basically what I'm saying. Clean, front squat, jerk. Looked really strong, really good lifting from her. And then finally, and I saved him to last because it's like a tradition. You've got to have him in the show. And you need to have him near the end. It's Abdo Younes from Egypt, 79, who had this one single lift that I just saw was crazy. I just think we need to set the scene. Like, imagine at the 79s at this year's Worlds, you've got Rizki, he snatches like 157, was it something like that? You know, Rahmat's at 156. Who else is up there? maybe someone, you're around that sort of weight. And then Abdo comes out and does a no-foot power snatch at 155 kilos. I just think that's crazy. I commented on it because I just wanted people to appreciate that. I said something like, that is a super elite lift. Like 155 no-foot power. I mean, none of them could even power that. Like Hye-jeong's not powering that when he was at his best. He might have hit, I think I filmed him power snatch 150 in Switzerland in 2019. But 155 no foot, catches it so high, it's so elite, just incredible. Okay, that's the end of the lift, but let's talk about Olympic qualification because we've been waiting for a long time to find out how you qualify for the Olympic Games. I'm going to do a pretty simple breakdown for you now. So to qualify for the LA Olympics in 2028, the IWF is going to take the total of your 5 best totals. So for example, the 75 kilo weight class will all compete at least 5 times, and the IWF will take their 5 best performances. They will add them all up, and the top 8 in the world will get an invite to the Olympic Games. Now, this is essentially the same as just averaging your best performance over 5 competitions, but they're just totaling them up. Now, this is different to the last Olympic Games where it all came down to one total, your best total possible, and they just took the top 10 best totals and sent them to the Olympics. This time it's the top 8, not top 10, and it's the summation of your 5 best totals. But we need to go a little bit more into detail to understand it. So there are 2 qualification periods. The first period runs from Worlds 2026 up to and including Worlds 2027. You can compete in up to 6 competitions in that period, and they're going to take your top 3. Then the second qualification period, which starts just after that 2027 World Champs and runs all the way up to and including the 2028 World Championships, which, by the way, are happening in April of 2028, so before the Olympics, not after, and those are in Kazakhstan. And there's a possibility of, I think, maybe 5 competitions there, and they'll take your top 2. So there's the ability to compete 10, 11 times, and they're going to take your best 5 totals, 3 from the first period, 2 from the second period. Now, there are some caveats, as always. There is a universality spot that are up for grabs. We had those in previous competitions. That basically comes down to underrepresented areas, athletes getting opportunity. And then there's a continental slot, which you may remember. Essentially, if in the top 8, your continent isn't represented, they'll take the highest finisher outside of that top 8 in that continent and put them in. Normally, there's Asia, Europe, and Pan America essentially in all of the top 8s, but often Africa and Oceania don't have representation there. So if they both didn't have representation and there were only those 3 other continents in that top 8, they would then look for the next highest of these 2 and bump them in. So there could be 8 athletes plus a continental plus potentially a universality spot, a maximum of 10. But there is something else happening which is new and kind of interesting. At the end of the whole qualifying period, the IWF is going to decide based on a metric. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. It could be Sinclair, could be Roby, could be the best average, could be the best single performance. I don't know. They're going to get the best male lifter and the best female lifter. If those athletes have qualified the maximum number of athletes per country for the Olympics in their gender, they will be allowed to take another athlete. So currently, like the last Olympics, countries can send 3 men and 3 women. So if Songkuk Yang is the highest ranked female lifter and North Korea has filled out their 3 North Korean women, they will get given a 4th woman to go to the Olympic Games. On the other side, Carlos Nassar is ranked, for example, the best male lifter of the qualification period. If there aren't 2 other men from Bulgaria who have made it into the top 8, for example, Angel Rusev or Hristo Hristov or whoever it might be, let's say they don't have 2 others, then they won't get this 4th person. But if they have filled out their top 3, they'll get given another 4th. And then also, like the last Olympics, you can't have more than 1 athlete per country per category. Hence, Rizki and Rahmat are splitting into the 75 and 85 kilo category so that they can hopefully both go to the next Olympic Games. I hope all of that makes sense. Just to recap very quickly, the top 8 go to the Olympics, and you go based on your top 5 totals added together. There'll then be a continental spot, possibly, and a universality spot, possibly, in a category, a minimum of 8, a maximum of 10 in any given class. There are 6 classes on the men's side, 6 classes on the women's side. 3 men per country, 3 women per country at a maximum, but you can qualify a 4th if an athlete from your country is the highest ranked male or female lifter at the end of the qualification period. That's basically it. Any questions, let me know down below. Do you like it? Let me know down below. The RAFMAT Weightlifting House Collab comes out next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all again.